We're about to move into the realm of specialized relevance, and we're going to study 5 rules in particular. In this module, I'm going to emphasize 3 things. First, how these 5 rules are special rules where Congress and the Advisory Committee determined that as a matter of law, these particular types of evidence fail the 403 balancing test. Second, I'm going to mention and refer briefly to each of these 5 rules. And third, I'm going to stress how these are rules of limited exclusion. They only ban this evidence if offered for very particular purposes. We are now moving into the world of specialized relevance, pieces of evidence that as a matter of law simply fail the 403 balancing test. Because of that, new specialized tests were developed to govern admissibility. These rules, rules 407 through 411, are tremendously complex, and I believe that their complexity greatly exceeds their importance. All of these rules deal with evidence that have very little probative value and at least some potential for prejudice, which is why the Advisory Committee and Congress developed these rules in the first place. I've come up with a mnemonic device, which I think should help you remember these 5 rules. The mnemonic device is SAPPI, S-A-P-P-I, though of course it's not a SAPPI mnemonic device. Here they are. First, subsequent remedial measures under Rule 407. Second, attempts to compromise or compromises with respect to a disputed claim under Rule 408. Third, payments or offers to pay medical expenses under 409. Fourth, pleas, not in the terms of please, but in the term of plea bargains and under Rule 410. And fifth, insurance or the lack thereof for liability under Rule 411. Now, 4 of these 5 rules are rules of limited exclusion. They ban evidence only if offered for a particular purpose. If the evidence is offered for a different valid purpose, they survive the rule and must be subject to Rule 403. One of these 5 rules, Rule 410, which governs plea bargains, is a rule of broad exclusion, and we'll focus on that a few modules down the line. You've just watched our module on introducing the specialized relevance rules under Rules 407 through 411. I stressed 3 points. First, these rules deal with situations where the Advisory Committee and Congress determine that the particular piece of evidence has such limited probative value and such a risk for prejudice that they created special rules to exclude evidence. Second, I briefly introduced each of the 5 rules. And third, I mentioned how 4 of the 5 rules are rules of limited exclusion. And one of the rules, Rule 410, is a rule of broad exclusion.